Good morning, everybody. 49. Yeah. So I had an early morning therapy session that I want to share with y'all because I feel like a lot of people don't give themselves grace, right? It's okay to take accountability for things or certain things that you've done or things that you've allowed to happen for you, because that's a sign of growth when you start taking accountability and realizing the role that you played in it. However, I feel like sometimes, I can speak for myself, I don't give myself grace and I'll beat myself up about a situation. So that's what today's therapy session is about. Was about. I'm on my way back to BJ's because they overcharged me $7 and I'm going to get my $7 back. And I didn't realize how old I was getting until I'm actually walking across here to get my $7. I'm not even playing about my $7. That $7 can fix this nail. So I need my $7 back. I digress. Boom, check it out, because I know some of y'all can relate to this. Check this out. Therapy session starts and she's doing like daily check-ins, what's been going on, everything is going good. Then she says to me, she's like, what do you think went wrong? Because she told me I got to really start taking accountability in all areas of my life. Yes, and today's day 74. Don't play with your girl. Skid up. But that's besides the point. So she's like, what do you think went wrong? And I said, I got with people that treated me bad because I was already treating myself bad. So it felt like home. And that's something that I have to be weary about. Like, when a person feels like home to me, home was not always a good time. Home was chaotic, abusive in some ways, abandonment issues, all of that stuff happened at home. And that's just the truth. You know what I mean? So it's like when you meet somebody and they're like, it feels like home. Yeah, the abuse and the chaos, all of it feels very familiar. So it's like, come in, have a seat, treat me worse than I'm treating myself, right? Here we go. So I took accountability for that, and I also have to, it's something my sister always tells me, it's like, Alexis, you got to give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. So no problem taking accountability. Give yourself grace during this transition that you're going through. You understand? Boom. This is where we got surgical at, though. So we started talking about the last situationship, whatever you want to call that, whatever ship it was. It was a hell of a ship, though. So she asked me, she was like, so what do you think about this particular one? Because it's not the same. And I was just like, no. And this is how, I'm going to explain this. This is how you start accepting the bare minimum, or you get breadcrumbed. I want y'all to listen closely. Listen closely to what I'm about to say, because I just came to this realization myself. So when you're already feeling bad about yourself and you're already treating yourself bad, you're already treating yourself average, you're already treating yourself like you're below par, you already don't know your self-worth, your self-value, you don't know any of this, right? So when you get with somebody that's treating you better than what you treating yourself, it's like, oh my God, this is so magical. This is the best thing ever. I love her. I love him. And all that stuff. And then as you go along and you start to build yourself, right? You start to get on this healing journey. You start to transition. You start to recognize your self-worth. You start to recognize your self-value. You start recognizing things about yourself. And you realize that the thing that was so magical, only breadcrumbs, because it's like, that's the bare minimum. You was treating yourself below the bare minimum, so you couldn't see that you were getting the bare minimum. But when you start to see it, head on out. Head on now, because see, that's what it is. Life is a big-ass learning lesson. Big, huge, best learning lesson. Life is a big learning lesson, so give yourself grace. Some people are putting your life to teach you lessons that can transform you beyond what you thought you could be. And that's what I started to realize. Like, I started loving on myself a little more, self-care, feeling all good, blonde wig, going to get my $7. So, you know what I'm saying? You start realizing your self-worth and your self-value, and you're like, wait a minute. This is nice, but this is the bare minimum. I can treat myself better than this. And you start to realize that. Don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. It's for you. It's for you. That's how you start accepting the bare minimum, because you was already giving yourself below the bare minimum. So when you start loving on yourself more, things start changing for you. You start transitioning. You start becoming the man or the woman that you know you are, that you deserve to be, that you can give the world. And you realize that, wait a minute, you're supposed to call me every day. I'm worth you calling me every day. I'm worth you texting me every day. I'm worth you hitting me up talking about, are you ready to go out? I'm worth you hitting me up talking about, well, the trip is planned. I'm worth you saying like, oh yeah, I seen these nice little Gucci slippers. I'm just throwing that out there for anybody that's listening. I seen those. I like Gucci slippers. I like that. Oh, those Gucci slippers are for you. Let me get you this without you having to ask for it or beg for it. Okay? Give yourself some grace. That is one of the best pieces of advice my sister ever gave me, and I'm gonna give it to y'all. Take accountability, but in that process, give yourself some grace because you're worth it. Okay, y'all, my phone is dying, and I'm going over here to get my $7. Hopefully I don't get into an argument, because I've been getting in a few arguments lately with people, but, I think it's kind of for me, because they wrong and I'm not having it. I can't go for that. No can do. God, I feel like I got on 2 hats. I'm hot as hell. All right, let me go and get my $7 back and go get me a meal while I'm over here. And y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Friday. What an eye.